season. The rampaging style last campaign, his first for PSG, has this season. And they look a much more complete unit, but how far they'll go in this competition, of course, is another riddle. Finalists a couple of 3 seasons ago it is now. Semi-finalists the following year. Knockout stage last year, went out in the quarters. Ramos. He's seeing a lot of the ball early on, Vitinha. He's only 22, he's a fine young player, the Portuguese international, Stuart.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He adds a bit of dynamism to that midfield on the ball. He's looking to pass it forward. One of the sort of criticisms of PSG over the years is that they've passed it too much without actually getting it forward into good areas in the Champions League.
Here's Mbappe. He'll give and go with Neymar. Explodes and scores. Exploded in terms of pace. And within 5 minutes, PSG lead Juve. Brilliant understanding between Mbappe and Neymar. These are the two players who the press will tell you don't get on. There's no sign of that this season on the field of play. Their understanding telepathic. Terrific opening goal.
Well, what a pass it is from Neymar. It's the only way he's going to get it into Mbappe is to go over the top of the defender. And Mbappe's pace gets him there, but it's also the technique. He almost cuts across it, doesn't he? On the outside of his right boot. That's a top-class finish and a brilliant goal. And they've had all the play so far. Perin gets his hand to it, but not enough. Bremer was beaten. Bonucci can't get across. There's the hand from Perin, but it was the power that beat him. What a start for PSG.
Scores for the 3rd game running. It's his 8th of the season. His 11th in 15 games. And in 295 matches, he has 210 goals. Figures. For PSG, it's 179 in 223 games. It's a wonderful record.
Well, you saw right from the start of the game, Juventus was set up to almost have a back 5 at times to absorb the pressure and then try and play on the counter-attack. They played a couple of balls long forward. But he knows his team have got off to a good start here. They're in control of the fixture now.
Marquinhos, I'm sure, is Europe's finest centre-backs, out to Ramos, who has been, of course, over the years. What experience he has in this competition, a 4-time winner with Real Madrid. Good touch on by Neymar. And a clump from Mbappe. He has this more senior role now at the club, off the field after his highly lucrative new contract. And you can see there the authority in coaching, not the fact he was talking to Neymar, the reaction of Neymar to it. Thanks Allegri, his opposite number today, and again very experienced. It's not a bad day actually, Max Allegri, until this 6-minute mark in this game, because his horse Estrosa, he's got a partnership with a horse called Estrosa, and won at Campanelli in Rome today. Here's Neymar. That's a throw to PSG, despite the protests of Cuadrado.
Yeah, Juventus don't want Cuadrado being in a really defensive position. He's a player that loves to get forward from that right wing-back role. I think you'd say the same about Kostic.
This lovely ball up to Mbappe. And he escaped the central duo, and he escaped the offside flag. And it was a duo he was up against then.
Didn't have too much to do to beat them. Bremer and Bonucci didn't see the run, didn't react to the run. Half a chance for Mbappe.
Milik has held that up and wins the free kick. And he's left Verratti down.
There's that ball over the top. Bonucci doesn't deal with it at all well. Bremer's not round on the cover. Just can't get his right foot on it. Could he have tried to bring it down? Maybe so.
Quadrado. Milik wearing 14, making a little run into space and gets it. Vlahovic, PSG appealing for offside. That has stayed down. Now it's lifted, which will frustrate the players. Look at the move of Arkadiusz Milik from Marseille to Italian football, back to Italian football.
It's a strange one. He did okay at Marseille in terms of the goals he scored, but I saw him at Napoli for a while where he'd gone right off the boil. He's got to rejuvenate his career with Juventus. He's going to play just in behind Vlahovic. Vlahovic is going to be the out-and-out striker. Milik playing slightly in behind him, as he did with Lewandowski for the Polish national team for quite some while.
Goal-scoring record for Poland, a little bit disappointing because he played second fiddle to Lewandowski perhaps. And Rabiot's last few months as a PSG player. Good start by PSG then. The goal by Kylian Mbappe. In the 6th minute. Vitinha. Hakimi and now Ramos. No great pressure on him. Verratti. Messi. Neymar has Nuno Mendes wide on that left-hand side. He's keeping Juan Bernat out of the side as he battles back from long-term injury. That's overcooked by Messi. Now you look at this, PSG starting lineup. And it's full of names to inspire. Wonderful goal, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Neymar just puts his foot underneath the ball, lifts it over Bremer, and it's a brilliant finish.
Sensational finish. You look at their lineup and it's a lineup to inspire and awe. And the Juventus lineup used to do that.
Well, they started a run of winning Serie A when Antonio Conte did a magnificent job there for the first 3 years. Once they got that new stadium, Allegri then took over and won it maybe 3 or 4 times, taking them to the Champions League final in Berlin against Barcelona.
Not too sure when you look at this lineup now. There are too many names that would join the pantheon of the Juventus greats. A long way to go in this game and this season. Foul on Rabiot. And Neymar stayed down.
Yeah, I think he just took the ball out and may have twisted his ankle here. Doesn't seem to be any foul on him or any touch on him. Won't be the last time he'll go down in this game, I don't think.
Gauthier led Lille to the league in 21, immediately moved off to Nice because the Lille title-winning side was going to be broken up due to financial pressures. Didn't have a great time as Nice manager, actually. They're looking for wins 7 in 8 games in charge of PSG. Paredes away then towards Quadrado. Off by Bremer, the Brazilian. And Danilo, the Brazilian. They can't get out, Juve. Verratti. Marquinhos, who is expected to play a leading role for Brazil in World Cup 2022 in Qatar, when I think they will have a leading hope. So many of their players are now based at top clubs in Europe.
Paredes with the foul on Mbappe. Just that arm that goes across his face. That's what the referee didn't like.
Brazilian experts are saying it's significant that because their leading players are based in Europe, they won't go into a World Cup drained as they might do at the end of a European season. You can say that for a lot of the European sides going out to Qatar, I would say, but for me, Brazil are worth a little tickle if you're entitled, if you're a betting person. Here's Messi. They'll be strong as well, I think. Argentina. Here's Neymar. Checks back onto his right foot. Messi dropped into that space, looks for Mbappe. Almost identical move to the goal, and Cuadrado away. Milik to Kostic. Not too sure when Philip Kostic made the around £11 million move from Eintracht Frankfurt. He thought he'd be playing left wing back at PSG.
On that occasion, Bonucci went with a run of Mbappe and dealt with it to a certain degree.
European champion Leo Bonucci, European runner-up with Italy back in 2012, and a wonderful player at Juve, 8 titles. Tyson Bremer. Cuadrado down the line. It is a warm night in Paris. It's a sensational sunset.
He said all the right things when he took over, didn't he? It was his team. Players were going to have to play in his way.
There's Danilo, former Manchester City player. Looking for Milik, didn't stick with him though, and Ramos touches it back to Donnarumma, who hasn't had the best of seasons so far. Has kept 3 clean sheets in his 7 games, but has made 1 or 2 errors. Rabiot, Paredes. Not seen much of young Fabio Miretti, wearing 20 for Juve so far. He's up there on the edge of the penalty area. Bit of a free roll for him. Vlahovic and Paredes. This is decent. Oh, sloppy pass by Rabiot, untidy in behind Cuadrado. Started his run. I'm not too sure what that was all about.
Good defending as well by Mendes, forced him back. Cuadrado can be a real threat when he gets forward down the right-hand side, gets crosses into the box, and they have got 2 strikers, Juventus, who can head the ball in Milik and Vlahovic.
And PSG's strength is not defending set pieces in the air, I can tell you. They lead here with Kylian Mbappe's 6th goal in his last 5 Champions League appearances. Vitinha. Parc des Princes, brimful of atmosphere. How can he change the game, Allegri? Second spell in charge, of course. There's Vitinha again. Only just come through to the Portuguese national side, but I think he's going to be a big player over the next decade. The club and country. Mbappe turning away from one challenge, couldn't get away from his old teammate Paredes. Here's Cuadrado.
Bonucci got away with that when he tried to win the ball in front of Mbappe. Mbappe just let it run across him. Paredes did really well. He's the deepest of the midfield players for Juventus.
Cuadrado with the ball in. There's the danger in the air of Milik, and a fine save from close range. Tapped out by Ramos. Back in but wide this time from Philip Kostic.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. That's why Cuadrado is a threat. That's why the 2 centre-forwards are a threat. What a good header that was. And a decent save. It was straight at Donnarumma, but he jumps early. Milik. Vlahovic tries to backheel it into a dangerous position. There's the warning. It's a good save in the end with his right hand. He gets it into a good position. Good strong wrist. Big chance for Milik.
50th game in Europe for Kadiusz Milik. 24 goals in his 49 games so far. PSG trying to play out. A little bit laboured in that. PSG look for Mbappe. Whichever way you look at his goal scoring record, it's so impressive. He's now netted in 5 Champions League games in a row. He scored 7 in his last 7 in the competition as Cuadrado writhes. Paredes, lots of space.
Unfortunately, he was looking out to this right-hand side to switch the play, and Cuadrado is still on the ground.
Another look around the shoulder, nothing doing out here. Rabiot.
Now they can use him.
Paredes. Fouled by Neymar.
But much better from Juventus. First period of the game where they've started to get good possession. That cross into the box was a really good one from Cuadrado. That has to be the threat. That has to be the game plan. To get the 2 wing-backs wide and high up the field and get crosses into the front too.
Milik. Offside. 498th game in Europe. Juventus. Saint-Germain, the junior partner in this game in terms of experience in European competition. You can see he's offside. But it is their 11th Champions League campaign in a row, closing down on the French record of Lyon. Verratti has a look. Mbappe was coming short. Here's Ramos. Easy ball played, and now Messi. Messi to Vitinha, takes it back. Got there first, and then he was closed by Rabiot. The incomparable Verratti. No one quite like him in French football. That's for sure. Into Mbappe, little Leotel Hakimi. Back to Mbappe. That's sublime. That's 2-0. Wonderful goal.
Great combination play. Verratti, Hakimi, Mbappe. 1 and 2 touch football at its very best. And what about that for a finish as well?
The Mbappe story continues.
Here it is, Verratti gets on the ball. Mbappe finds that bit of space. There's the combination with Hakimi who would come in field. I think he was onside, Hakimi, but what a good finish that is. Another first-time finish. Same sort of strike as well with his laces. Keeps it under control. Absolutely brilliant from PSG.
Well, they're loving it. The only time I've seen them struggle this season was when they played against Monaco, and Monaco really in their faces from the very first kick. And the work rate of Monaco that day in the draw was astonishing. There's just a feel about Paris Saint-Germain this season that they could go all the way in this competition. The defence is so much better. With Ramos fit, his experience, there's a better balance about the side. They're not defending just with 7 players as they have had to when Mbappe and Neymar and Messi did no work. Mbappe caught there, wrapped around the Achilles. That's naughty.
Remember, I think the player that caught him as well.
Ramos in the face of a player who was his teammate just a few days ago.
Well, it was a strong challenge. Mbappe came short to win the ball. Or to receive the ball, should I say. Allegri and Gautier, they've obviously had a couple of words and then making up.
Sort of making up. Anthony Taylor, difficult moment for him to control this.
It wasn't as bad as Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte, was it?
No. Referee wants a word with Bremer.
He was the player that I think initially made the challenge on Mbappe. Yeah, he's late. He tries to win it with his left foot.
It's just a yellow card offence, though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
PSG trying to get something more, but
he tries to go down the side of Mbappe. He thought he could win it. Ramos gets a yellow card as well. So his reaction and something he may have said.
Well, he was pushing and shoving with Paredes. Ran a long way to get involved, didn't he, Sergio Ramos? I know a lot of you watching on like to see that from a referee. They don't like to see, no one likes to see this. How many, 6, 7, 8 players around a referee? I certainly know that UEFA don't like to see this. Pressure on a referee like this.
It really should only be the captain talking to the referee. He's got to get everybody else away. There's the challenge. It's a foul. He's trying to win the ball. He doesn't go down the back of his ankle. He doesn't scrape his calf. It's a foul. PSG trying to make the most of it. It's going to put Bremer under a little bit of pressure for the rest of the game.
Well, they need to learn something quickly about Anthony Taylor, because he's a referee that doesn't buckle to pressure. He's one of the best in Europe. Has been involved in those high-profile incidents in the Premier League this season, and has had criticism, but for me, he's still one of the finest around. Unruffled, did the right thing, waited his moment, pulled out the yellow cards. Into your Pellet. Man on the spot here for Juventus, calling the tune. Perrin in the side because Chesney is out with an ankle injury. 2-0 Paris Saint-Germain. Very good half for them so far. 2 fabulous goals. Neymar to Messi. Neymar. Looks for Ramos, will have to stretch to get that.
That's something else they've added to their game with Ramos in the team. How many times did he get Real Madrid out of trouble? Coming up from the back at set plays, heading goals, dominant in the opposition's penalty box.
8 goals in 8 Champions League games now then for Mbappe. Concern for Allegri.
Well, that's the difficulty with coping with Mbappe. For the first goal, he makes a run in behind. His pace got in there, his movement. The second one, he comes short of the defenders and plays around them with a really good 1-2 with Hakimi.
Berratti. Here's Messi. Good movement again by PSG. Broke down with Mbappe, who's a bit careless with the ball. Now Vlahovic. Fouled by Neymar. This time the challenge and knew it.
He actually went over the top of the ball in the end.
He did, yeah.
By accident, I think. But he got back into a good position. You mentioned it. PSG now have players, even those top 3, that want to go and win the ball back, or are made to go and win the ball back by the coach.
I think that's the key, because he doesn't accept passengers in his team. Christophe Gaultier, that Lille side that won the title, won it with a huge work rate. Ramos. Stops kindly for Danilo. Paredes. Juventus a lot slower in their build-up, but look at the blue shirts back, including Messi and Mbappe and Neymar, all in or approaching their defensive third. It's a massive difference this season for PSG. Can't stress it enough. Not exactly pressing the ball, the front trio there, look, but they are there. Blocking passing routes through. Here's Bremer. Bonucci. Danilo again. And the youngster Moretti. Only 19, and his 13th game for the club.
I'm not quite sure what they're trying to do here, Juventus. They've got lots of time on the ball. Ended up going backwards here.
They're not exactly moving PSG around, are they? Here's Bremer now, out wide to Cuadrado. Back they go again. He did win the foul in the end, but I think he won it in the end. The first foul wasn't for me, but he got it in the end as Keylor Navas watches on. That's a big statement as well by Gauthier this season, whereas Mauricio Pochettino and Thomas Tuchel would swap goalkeepers on a regular basis, especially Pochettino when Donnarumma was forced on him, really. Great free transfer signing, but he really had Navas. He swapped the two of them. Gauthier has kept Donnarumma in as his number one.
And he has made a very good save when the score was 1-0 off that header from Milik.
Cuadrado with the free kick, and that's a header that just plops over the bar from Clayson Bremer.
There's Danilo,
Yeah,
who can play in midfield or at the back, as he has done on occasions, playing in a back three.
he's played there in the last couple of games they played PSG. He was the player who sort of foisted upon Thomas Tuchel the straw that broke the camel's back, some say, for Tuchel while he was at PSG. I feel they needed strengthening with him. Verratti was caught, free kick. Helped out by Milik.
Yeah, they both got a bit of the ball, but they also got a bit of Verratti.
Got a player he has been for Paris Saint-Germain. 8 titles, 6 cups, 6 League Cups. Mbappe trying to hurdle the challenge of Paredes. When there was the brouhaha after the challenge and all the players got involved with that looking for Bremer and Ramos, it was Messi who went up and had a quiet word with his mate Paredes. And he's Verratti, closed by Rabiot. Paredes in there ahead of young Vitinha. Vitinha there first, undersold the pass to Marquinhos. There was no great pressure on the Paris Saint-Germain captain.
Yes, they've got players behind the ball, Juventus, but it's a bit passive when they are closing down. PSG can keep possession, they can pick out passes. They're getting in between the lines of Juventus at times.
They were very laboured in their 1-1 at Fiorentina over the weekend. They beat Spezia in the midweek. Cuadrado has won that back and protects the ball. Rabiot wants a free kick, and here's Paredes. That's a poor ball, sold short. Hakimi is there. Mbappe, Neymar in the penalty area. Hakimi is drawn back into space. Here's Messi. Position he loves that. Vitinha with the strike.
I think everybody expected Lionel Messi here to try and bend it into the far corner. Instead, he just sets up Vitinha, who, using the inside of his right foot, doesn't get his knee over the ball. Not a good effort from the Portuguese midfield player.
34 minutes gone, PSG with 54% of possession. 2 goals to the good from their 2 attempts on target. Vitinha. Mbappe. Verratti, a long way to go in the game. Perilous to rule Juventus out of any match, but their performance in this first half disappointing. Nuno Mendes, the give and go, and the cross into the middle is swept away.
He actually played the cross a little bit too early. Messi was still standing outside the box. Hakimi on the other side wasn't really making any effort to get into a dangerous position. He's a good player, Nuno Mendes, down this left-hand side.
And only 20, Portuguese international. Messi. Neymar. Brilliant. Messi. Here's Verratti. Neymar has that ability to bewitch, and he chases up after it. He's gone down looking for a penalty for the challenge by Cuadrado, and the referee's having none of it, and quite rightly so. Might have hurt himself in the process, but for me, he's playing for that, Stuart.
It looked as though he was playing for it. I think he collided with Perrin in the end. That's why he's laying down injured. He's having to go at the goalkeeper, but I'm not sure there's too much. The goalkeeper has to go and get the ball. But it was good skill to start with. He actually gives it away, and Bremer gives it back to him. There's the little, wasn't quite a nutmeg. Then he falls over, and then he goes into the goalkeeper. I'm not sure what the goalkeeper could do other than that.
Cuadrado, he did have a hand on him, but is that enough for a penalty for you?
Not at all. I think both players were trying to get their arms across each other. Just for a moment, Cuadrado thought about tugging the shirt of Neymar and let go very quickly. No penalty for me.
The way he spun in the air as he was falling as well would suggest that a bit of simulation going on there. The good, the bad and the ugly of Neymar encapsulated in a second and a half. But he is, this season, has been in unbelievable form. Possibly his last World Cup. He's 30 now. Certainly would be Messi's last World Cup of 35, and they will want to go out November, December with a huge hurrah. Here's Milik. Cuadrado is out wide on the touchline. 7.5 to go. Paredes.
Well, the one way they can cause PSG a problem is that ball out wide, cross into the box, get the 2 front players attacking the ball. They've only done it once, and they were nearly successful with it. This is all too slow from Juventus.
There was a marked change in policy announced by PSG in that they weren't going to go down the Galacticos route, and they were going to bring on younger players who they could develop, and even though they don't need the money, of course, they're a state-backed club. They could sell at a profit. I'm not too sure they get a profit on Nuno Mendes at 35 million or Vitinha at 41.5 million, but they are younger players who they can develop. And both very good players. And they're well worth this 2-0 lead. It's Paredes. They've had to offload players, of course, this year to balance the book. He was one. The likes of Draxler has gone. This young Moretti, not seen a lot of him. Neymar. I wonder if the occasion's a little bit too much for Fabio Moretti. That's offside.